Hey my beautiful bitches, it's me, Fiona St. James, and welcome to another episode of Fiona's Coffee Talks. And as always, I'd like to start off every day with a fresh, hot, black cup of coffee. Hold the cream! I'd love to. And today's episode is, drumroll please, the benefits of CBD. Yay! So now let me give you a little history of my own. So CBD, as we know, is the component of pot, but the main ingredient in pot is THC. So the CBD is actually the medicinal aspect of it. So myself, I've always been honest about the fact that I have smoked pot pretty much my whole life. But having said that, in recent years, I don't. In particular, like the last year or so, because what I find with myself when I smoke pot, the THC aspect of it, apart from the fact that it just can get you really high, which is not such a terrible thing, but the bad part about it for me is I get such an awful case of the munchies that I just cannot stop eating. And then if you're trying to stay in shape or whatever, it's a little counterproductive. So in the old days, I would smoke and then eat a lot, then smoke more, then eat more, and it becomes this vicious cycle. And then you end up not even feeling good. And I'm like, what's the point of it? So I stopped doing it a while ago, but then I was hearing about all of these CBD products and it's medicinal and it makes you feel good and this and that. So I know a lot of people who do it. So I recently, probably within the last just couple of months, I thought, you know what, let me give it a shot. So that's what all of this is, all of the different products. So that's what I want to talk about. So CBD in itself, of course, if you have any aches or pains, or if you have any, if you're feeling anxious or anxiety, the CBD aspect just really relaxes you. So there are several websites out there, Social CBD, CBD Living, The one that I'm particularly fond of is one called Balance CBD. And you could find all of these online. When you sign up for them, I'm always getting emails, always having specials, BOGO, this, that, percentages off. So I have bought from all of them. So I want to share a few products, my favorite products. So the first thing is the tincture. So this is from Balance CBD. What I love about this is it's actually 5,000 milligrams. All of the other places that I mentioned, they'll have 1,500, 750 milligrams wise. And then so you do a full dropper. This is full spectrum. This is a lot more expensive, but I did get it on a BOGO special. And this is 5,000 milligrams full spectrum, so you only use half a dropper. Now, I love using this at night before I go to bed. I don't do it every night, but with life being the way it is, sometimes right when I go to sleep or try to go to sleep, sometimes that's when you finally stop with your busy day, and then that's where sometimes my mind starts thinking too much about shit. So then if I do this pretty much takes that away, and then I am able to sleep like a baby. And the other wonderful part about any of these products is that you don't wake up the next day with what I refer to as a pot hangover, because I would have moments in the good old days, if I would smoke too much, where you wake up and you're almost your head's a little foggy. I wake up whenever I do this and I am completely alert and feel rested, and there's no residual effects other than the fact that I feel amazing. I've also used this sort of as a spot treatment. Remember a few weeks ago, when you get a certain age, suddenly you're fine 1 second, and then a second later you're oh, what's happening? So a few weeks ago, suddenly I felt my shoulder was what the fuck did I do to it? And it was a little painful. So I was CBD to the rescue. So you do half a dropper, you leave it under your tongue for 45 seconds. I leave it for about a minute, and it starts going down your throat with your own saliva, and then a minute later you just swallow whatever is left. And I did that, and I swear to you, 15 minutes later I was oh my God, the pain kind of subsided, and then the next day I was fine. So I love using this. But if I'm going to do this, I only do this at night. So the other thing So that's Unbalanced CBD. There's another group, another website called Weller, which also does CBD. And this is a CBD powder drink mix. So this was like, I think $80, but I got it 25% off, so it was only 60. Comes with a little scooper that's about a quarter of a teaspoon. And so you get 50 servings out of this. And it's a drink mix. So you could even just put it in water. You could put it in any beverage. And it doesn't, like, none of this alters you. Like, none of it, like, gets you high per se. But because you are putting this thing in your body, which is medicinal, it does make you feel great, but you don't feel like, oh my God, I'm high. So I will do this like during the day if I kind of just, sometimes you have a stressful day and you're like, you know what, girl, I need a little bit of this. And it just puts you in the right headspace. So this I love for that purpose. So I do this only during the day. Then the other thing they have, which I never knew existed, like I knew that they had all of these CBD products. And then when I went on Balanced CBD, I'm looking at the different products and I'm like, oh my God, they actually have flower or bud. So basically like CBD pot. I mean, and it's funny because when you open it, even though it doesn't have THC, I'm like, girl, it smells like weed. And it's a lot. This was like half an ounce for like $50. And again, I got it on BOGO. So I got 2 of these for 50. Now, what's so incredible about this is that, I grind it up, I put it in my pipe, you smoke it. So for those of you who are smokers and you want to feel that effect of actually smoking, this is good. This is great for that. I don't do a lot of it. I'll do a couple of hits. And what it does is it so like clears your mind. It clears my mind anyway. So like a lot of times on a Sunday, which is when I will like swap out my backdrop for my following for that Friday's video, especially if you've seen my recent videos, if there's specific holidays or themes or stories or whatever, I have a very specific look. This is much more of just like my everyday look, minus of course all the CBD products. But on Sundays, I'll do like just a couple of hits of this and suddenly my mind just opens up and I get so creative with it. You don't get high, because that's not what it's about, but it just puts you in this amazing space. You feel great. That bud, the flower, gives me, again, such clarity that you suddenly, it just opens you up to really doing anything really, and without feeling like tired, because CBD, even though it takes away the anxiety or any aches or pains, some people think that, oh, it's gonna get you sleepy. Well, not necessarily. I mean, the tincture that I do does help me sleep, but I've never had sleep issues anyway, but it just makes it better. So, but the pot thing, I did learn the hard way not too long ago. I all of a sudden, because, I had smoked weed my whole life, but I suddenly, because I was feeling so good, I did more than just a couple of hits, and I think I overdid it. Now, there's something to be said about that. And then suddenly I found that I was like, oh, then I was feeling like a little off. So that's my only warning if you're going to go with the actual bud or flower or pot, whatever you want to call it. Just really do a few hits and that's all you need. I admit it, I've always sort of been an extremist, even with my pot smoking or anything. Really, if I like it, I continue doing it. Then there is something to be said about overdoing it. Don't overdo it with that. So those are my 3 main things. I do have 3 other things that I use. I don't use them that often, but then CBD Living actually has CBD coffee. How great is that? So like I've done this, you just mix it with like water and you put your milk and sugar, whatever. And again, it doesn't alter you, but it does just sort of like relax you. So during the day, if you want the, coffee, but you want the coffee to like not make you all wiry like coffee can, then you do this. And this, I believe, was like $20. Actually, I think it was 30, but I got like 30% off, so I ended up getting it for 20. Like I said, all of these sites always have specials, and if you sign up for them, they're always sending you emails with percentages off, BOGO, buy 1, get 2 free, or whatever. So that's the 4th thing. And then from social CBD, excuse me, this is a muscle rub. So, you hear people talk about CBD and using it like as a topical thing, lotions or like muscle rubs. When you read the package, like this says that it's 250 milligrams. So realize that any lotions or any muscle rubs that you get, whatever it shows the milligrams, that's in the entire body, bottle, excuse me. So it's not that you're going to get 250 milligrams in that little bit that you put. And I like having this because a few years ago, I ended up with like tennis elbow, and even though I'm fine with it, every now and again I'm like, oh, there's that old whore injury acting up again. I put a little bit of this and it does the trick. Now the better one, which I've yet to try because they're out of stock, Balance CBD has one that is, instead of 300 milligrams, I think it was something like 1,000 milligrams, and it was in a small, like this is 3.4 ounces, or 3 ounces I should say. Theirs is in 1.7 ounce. So when you do the math, the whatever amount you put, it's going to have more of the CBD. And just from people that I know who use it, they say that the Balance CBD one is better and stronger, whatever, and they feel more of an effect with it. But for the time being, they were out of stock on that, and this is working plenty well for me. Last but not least, something that I have yet to try, but I'm excited to try. They actually have CBD suppositories. Who knew, girl? So it's really hysterical. Like, I've never used a suppository. When you read the reviews on it, you know, or even just like when they describe what it's for, they say, like, you know, women use it if they're having like menstrual cramps, or if you have endometriosis, or if you have any GI issues. So in some of the reviews, these women were saying, yeah, you know, I use it and it helps me, like, you know, when it's that time of the month or whatever they have. And then this one woman was like, I put it in my back end because my husband likes, you know, having anal intercourse. And she was like, and it always hurt, but suddenly with this, it felt great. So when I read that, I was like, ooh, girl, I gotta get this. Because, you know, we all know I'm a big old bottom. Talk about getting high off your ass, right? So I've yet to use it because, you know, sad to say, I really haven't been hooking up since the pandemic, but I am curious to try this. And I got, this was also, 4 of them come in this. It was $50, but it was BOGO. So, but for whatever reason, I bought one and they sent me 2 additional ones. So I ended up getting 12 of these for the price of 4. You know, when I was reading on it and like how to do it, they're like, lay on your back and like insert it, like put your finger halfway up and then leave it there and like lay there, because I guess it disintegrates and immediately gets in your bloodstream and you end up feeling wonderful. So I thought, you know, because I've had GI issues, you know, I even had this god-awful surgery years back where like I was having intestinal things, and they ended up removing part of that. I mean, I'm fine since then. But, you know, every now and again, it's like sometimes I'm like, oh, there's like a phantom pain or reminder that I've had that done. So for myself, I'm curious to use this just like if and when the time ever comes, which I'm sure it will, where suddenly I might be feeling a little whatever, just to see what that does for me. So, and then of course, when I decide to carry on, I really want to see what that does for me. So. And this one, each one, I don't have my reading glasses on, so, but if I remember correctly, it's like 100 milligrams. Now, I've seen other ones that are like 500 milligrams, but I was like, let me start with 100, because girl, you know, I'm a lightweight when it comes to some of these things, so I don't want to go overboard. Anyway, so the benefits of CBD, I think it's great. You know, it's even before pot became legal, you could always get that. I mean, in recent times, it's become much more popular, and you know, it's just a nice way of like not getting high, but getting the benefits of pot minus the THC. So I'm all over it. I swear by it. In the notes, I'm going to write the different websites, and they have so many more other products. They have different. But with the tinctures, different milligrams, certain ones that are like for focus, one for energy, one, you know, so you could look through them and see which one works best for you. You can't go wrong with any of them. These just happen to be my favorites. So I just kind of thought, you know, it'd be kind of nice to share this information. And here we are. So, all right, guys, thank you so much for always being here with me. I love doing these videos, and I hope everyone is staying safe and healthy and having an amazing summer. So don't forget, if you have not subscribed, make sure you do. If you like what I had to say, by all means, give me a thumbs up, because YouTube looks at all of that. So, all right, guys, thank you so much for being here with me, and I will see you soon. Okay, love you.